Okay, and I'm back. So, episode 3 of the new HBO mega series, House of the Dragon spinoff on the show Game of Thrones, aired this Sunday, and while I don't think it was better than episode 2, it might have been better than episode 1. Maybe. I don't know. It's close. We'll see. Let's break it down. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Alright, so, like I said, aired over the weekend. I'm torn. I'm a little torn, because I really disliked episode 1, and I really enjoyed episode 2, so, again, you know, I'm a little biased. I'm a bit of a hater sometimes, but we'll see how it goes. So, I got everything here ready for you. Overall, I think the episode was enjoyable. They keep making the same dumb mistakes, and I don't get it. I don't get it, but I guess, you know, I'll just rant on it when we get to the specifics with that specific part. So let's just start from the beginning. So let me just switch this here over to the big screen so you can follow along. Cool. So the episode begins with an assault from what is his name? The crab feeder. The crab feeder's men attacking a Valerian ship. By the way, this is the Valerian flag. It's like a horse siren thing. I don't know. It's weird, but that's their logo, their emblem. Anyway, so they're attacking this fleet, and they're basically the crab feeder, which we get a better look at him. Apparently, it's a dude with a mask. He's kind of burned and stuff. So he's nailing a dude to a piece of wood, and this dude's gonna get eaten by crabs, right? So clearly, not a nice guy. This guy yells out the dude's name. Apparently, he's a prince. I didn't even know, but whatever. And so as he's, you know, yelling at these. By the way, I can show this episode because again, no nudity. Shocker, surprised. A lot of gory stuff, but no nudity. And so all of a sudden, a dragon attacks. Right? Freaking Caraxes and Daemon Targaryen show up to save the day, and so they start spitting fire everywhere. The crab feeder runs to a cave, and Daemon is just yelling out like, "Come out and face me, Dahar!" Like he's challenging him to I guess a one-on-one duel, which it's not fair when you're riding a dragon. But he lands the dragon, and he's, you know, riding around with it, and that's when archers start throwing arrows at him. Which, by the way, one of the arrows hits him in the shoulder, and he totally deserves it. One of the advantages of dragons is that they fly. You don't land your dragon because when you land your dragon, guess what you're in the range of? Guess. Anybody? Yes, arrows. They can throw arrows at you. They can throw spears at you. They can throw rocks at you. They can throw anything at you. That's why you usually don't land your dragon and walk around like an idiot in the middle of a kill zone. By the way, I'll explain what a kill zone is later on because we actually get to see this a little bit more clearly. But this is just stupid, and he deserves it. He deserves to get shot by that stupid arrow for being stupid. Again, if in any situation, and think of any video game, if you have a flying unit, you don't land it because that's when it's the most vulnerable. This is Warfare 101, I guess, but whatever. Again, he got shot with an arrow. He deserves it for being an idiot. So they run away with the tail between their legs. Next, we get to see, apparently, we had a time skip. So it's been 3 years since the very last episode. Well, since episode 2, 3 years have happened, and apparently Viserys and Alicent have had a baby boy, and Alicent has another bun in the oven. So this is apparently the baby boy's name is Aegon, and they're celebrating his second birthday. Now, while they're celebrating his second birthday, we have a very interesting conversations happening in the background. This dude's talking to Otto Hightower, and he's basically like, "Well, looks like we have a new heir now." And Otto's like, "I don't think Viserys wants a new heir. I think he still wants Rhaenyra." And he's like, "Well, you have to convince him. So, because we want a boy." Anyway, then a soldier comes along, and he is trying to talk to Viserys. And this is wild, by the way. They have a buffet to celebrate the kid's birthday, right? The king is grabbing his own food. The king is going through the buffet table, grabbing his own food, which is wild. I mean, you know, usually kings have tasters and stuff. I mean, I guess if it's a buffet, it's one of those things like, hey, if you're poisoning something, you're poisoning everybody. But it's wild. Like George R. R. Martin, who's the author of the books, he's kind of a big dude, aka he's a fatty, and so he really goes deep into the description of food, and so we've gone through quite a lot of feasts, and we've never had a buffet. I'm just saying we've never had a buffet. Usually, what happens is if there's a dinner scene or whatever, the king or the highest ranking lord or the lord of the castle where it's happening is sitting at the seat of honor, the highest table, the highest chair. And when the cooks start coming out with the food, they always go to the king first, and they offer the food to him. And so the king can either take a piece of it or send it to somebody, you know, as a piece of it. So let's say, I don't know, you get like pork chops, and he's like, oh, my buddy Ned, here, have the first taste of pork chops. And so it's considered to be a great honor. And it's fun, one of those fun medieval things you get to see throughout the books. And here it's a buffet. It's just really weird. It has nothing to do with anything. It's not good or bad. I just thought it was really funny to see a king pick his own food. It's just wild. Anyway, so the other dude is basically trying to talk to Viserys, and Viserys is like, dude, I'm at a party. Just chill, man. I'm going to go hunting. I'm going to hang out with my boys. It's my kid's birthday. Just leave me the F alone. And he's like, no, I need to tell you stuff. And so he basically tells Viserys that the battle in the war on the Stepstones is not going very well. If you guys remember in the previous episode, Lord Valerian made an alliance with Daemon Targaryen. They're going to go out and they're going to take out basically the crab feeder and his men. It's a triad thing or whatever. I forget the name. It's really not important. And so they're going to go take him out. And so we learned that in 3 years they haven't been able to take him out. And apparently, not only have they not been able to take him out, they're losing. And I'll get into that storyline in a minute because it's stupid. But anyway, so Viserys is like, chill, just leave me alone. Where's my daughter? God, I hate you guys. So he's trying to find Rhaenyra. Apparently, Rhaenyra is nowhere to be found in the party. And so he's wondering where she is. You know, like a worried father. And so he basically sends people to find her. And the person who decides to go is Alicent. And here we see Rhaenyra hanging out in the Godswood right next to an old god, basically. I have no idea why they keep I forget the name. I was going to say Erd Tree, but I know it's not Erd Tree. What's the name of the stupid tree? I forget damn it. This is going to bug me. Usually I don't have to look up stuff, but this I have to learn like magic tree name Game of Thrones, because it's gonna bug me, and I know the name Weirwood. Huh, thank God. All right, so and she's hanging out here next to this Weirwood. I already complained about this in episode 1. There should not be a Weirwood inside the Red Keep. It's like massive blasphemy, because the Red Keep, you know, they have basically what would be the Vatican there, the seven-faced God where stuff, and so they're very religious. They're very much into their septums and the seven-faced God and whatnot. So having what is essentially a god of another religion in the middle of the Red Keep is insane. It's insane, but I don't know why they put it there, so whatever. I mean, it's stupid. It's crazy. I compared this to imagine you go to like a Christian church, and right in the middle of like the altar, they have a picture of Odin or something, you know, like a Ra. They, instead of, you know, Jesus on the cross, they have like a Ra there. It'd be nuts, right? It's the same thing, but whatever. So here we clearly see that Rhaenyra is obsessed with the story of Nymeria, which it's one of those things like, guys, stop trying to make Nymeria happen. Nobody cares about Nymeria unless she's a wolf. Stop trying to make Nymeria happen. I've heard rumors of there being a spinoff of Nymeria, but whatever. Who cares? Honestly, who cares? We already know her story, and her story's stupid. Because you don't burn your damn ships. Whatever. Anyway, so clearly Rhaenyra's in the mood, and Alicent shows up and is like, hey, you kind of like maybe not want to be a total bitch today. And clearly their relationship is not in a good spot. It's been 3 years. Things don't look good. It's been at least 3 years, because the kid's 2 plus 9 months of pregnancy. I'm guessing it's almost 3 years, I guess. So it could be more, could be less. Who knows? The point is, things are kind of rough between the two. Like Rhaenyra feels betrayed, and she doesn't like the imbalance of power here, because now Alicent is the queen, and so she can command her if she wants. She can command Rhaenyra if she wants, but she doesn't want to do it because she still wants to be her friend. Drama, chick drama, whatever. And so they leave. They set off for the hunt, because again, they were gonna make this big hunt to celebrate the new the prince's second birthday. Which, by the way, in the world of Westeros, once you're 2 years old, you're no longer considered a baby, because in medieval times, sometimes they weren't sure if a baby's gonna survive, and so after 2 years old, they're like, okay, I think this was gonna make it. So there you go. And so we get this scene in the carriage where basically Rhaenyra is not being nice. And she's upset with a bunch of stuff, and they're trying to convince her, well, slightly point to the direction that she might be having her own kid soon or whatever. And Viserys wants Rhaenyra to join him in the hunt, but Rhaenyra's like, you know what? Nobody wants me here. Nobody's here for me. Nobody loves me. Yeah, which I mean, she's a 17-year-old here. Yeah, I think she's a 17-year-old here. No, she's 18, I think. So yeah. I think they mentioned that she's 18. 10 and 8. I don't know, whatever. And so she shouldn't be acting that bratty, but whatever. And so we get to see like this big lavish camp that they're setting up for the hunt. Everybody's excited because they apparently tracked a big white elk, which is a white stag. I think it was an elk. Anyway, so the point is, it's very rare, and it's a important symbol, whatever. We get to see the Lannisters here showing up. We get to see a whole bunch of big important houses. Everybody's happy to see them, and they walk around this party through this very nice outdoor, like tent. And so everybody's talking about issues. They're talking about dramas. They're talking about the war with the ladies are having a conversation about Daemon. We see this guy with a club. Oh no, I messed up. We see this dude with a clubfoot, which is he's apparently a strong. The son of Lord Strong. Why they showed that dude in his foot, I don't know, but I'm guessing he's going to be relevant somehow, because they did pay a lot of attention just to show this guy and his weird foot. And anyway, point is, they're trying to get political about Daemon and the war and how it makes everybody look bad, and how the king is refusing to accept that the kingdom is at war, and yada 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 yada, which by the way is kind of true. And they have a pug, which is weird. How'd they get a pug how'd they breed a pug in medieval times is beyond me, but apparently somebody did. It's crazy. Like it's nuts. This is crazier than seeing a werewood in the Red Keep. Seeing a pug in the middle of a feudalistic society. It's insanity. It's wild. But all right, they have a pug. Madness. But whatever. And so they start doing preparations. Rhaenyra starts walking around, and one of the Lannister boys starts, hitting on her, and it's weird because honestly, this dude was actually pretty well written. Because it's one of those conversations where he's clearly trying to impress her with the things that he has. He's trying to be like, oh yes, I'm having a normal conversation where I happen to mention all these important things that I have. As I was walking in my gardens in Casterly Rock, which you may have heard of, which is bigger than the wall. By the way, insanity that it's bigger than the wall, but whatever. Wait, if you stand on top of it, they are clear that you can see the end of the Sunset Sea. Nobody knows where's at the end of the Sunset Sea, by the way. And Casterly Rock is like right on the ocean. It's like right there. Like right. Check out a picture of Casterly Rock. It's right there on the ocean. So on a clear day, you can see really far into the ocean. But whatever. So it's funny. I thought it was well delivered and stuff, and you're like, man, what a douche. Wait, so he came out, he did a pretty good job for a Lannister. And so basically he's trying to convince her to marry him, basically. And he's like, oh yeah, I can build a dragon pit for you, and you could be like my queen there, blah blah blah. And Rhaenyra's like, thank you very much for the drink, and she leaves. So honestly, I thought that was pretty funny. That dude did a really good job. I don't know if we're ever going to see him again, but what he did was pretty funny. So we go back. Rhaenyra goes back into the tent, and basically she starts a fight with her father, where he's like, "Why are you trying to pawn me off like some, I don't know, like some cow or whatever, blah blah blah." And Viserys is, he's finally breaching a topic that I've been complaining about for a really long time, and that's that everybody and their mother wants to marry Rhaenyra. Everybody. Why? Because she's a princess and she's 18 years old. Everybody and their mother probably wanted to marry her before that. Why? Because she's a princess. And so every single eligible bachelor in the kingdom, ages 13 to death, is interested in marrying Rhaenyra. Some of the people who aren't even single, they're like, you know what, I'll dump my wife if I can marry a princess. Why? Because she's a princess. And not only is she a princess, she was the named heir. So for years, she was the only heir, the only princess there. So are you telling me that a bunch of super ambitious dudes have not been chasing after her like crazy? This is the wildest thing about watching Rhaenyra just walk around by herself. This is a feudal society. This is like high society, the elites. These are very, very interested people. Not interesting, interested. They want power. They're greedy. And they will, these are snakes. So she should have 100 people on top of her all the time. And by the way, she should also have a Kingsguard following her everywhere she goes, because, you know, she's a princess and anybody could just, you know, take her or kill her or whatever. And so that would be bad. But anyway, and so everybody and their mother should be on her all the time. They should be trying to bring her gifts, trying to make her laugh, whatever, get any favors, sending your sisters to be like, hey, go be her friend, talk me up, anything. Why? Because she's a princess and we haven't seen it, and it's insane. And the only thing that we're getting is the Lannister dude hitting on her, you know, proposing, which, by the way, crazy that he proposed to her. He would go to the dad, because that's, again, feudal society. You bypass the girl. What she wants doesn't matter. You go straight to the king, because the king can, you know, make her do whatever you want, and the king could be like, that's actually a pretty good deal. And so it's one of the, again, Viserys saying that I'm getting all these notes, but nobody doing it is crazy. But whatever, I guess. No show can be perfect. But anyway, then Viserys completely destroys her. Honestly, it was worth watching. And this entire season has been worth it just to see Viserys destroy Rhaenyra. Because Rhaenyra was like, oh, he's arrogant and pompous and blah, blah. Like, well, I thought you two would match because of that. In fact, you know what? I'm not sure if I can put it. Like, I don't remember the exact line, but I just remember her getting destroyed. Let me see. Marriage proposal. And I've tried, I don't know if this is going to get my video deleted, but hopefully not. I've tried often to discuss it with you, blah, blah, blah. Oh no, this is when they're already fighting. Damn it. Okay, so let's see. Let me see if I can. You're of age, Rhaenyra. And Jason Lannister's an excellent match. He's arrogant and self-serious. I thought you two might have that in common. Wrecked. Totally wrecked. Honestly, we had to pause the episode just so that we could keep, just because we couldn't stop laughing in her face. Oh, I thought you two might have that in common. and so this, I get Rhaenyra trying to rebel, but she knew, and she's aware, she knows her duty, right? And I'm not saying that she should know because she's a girl in a feudal society and blah, 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 blah. I'm saying she should know because in episode 1, her mom told her, your duty is you have a royal womb and it's your duty to propagate the royal line, and our battlefield is in the childbirth, in the birth bed or whatever. So there. On episode 2, she tells her dad, like, hey, yeah, you're the king, you have a duty to propagate the royal line, blah, blah. So she should know. All right? And again, 18-year-old, still kind of young, but come on. If you tell me that she did not get that was also about her, and that in order to propagate the royal line, she does have to get married unless she's planning on having a whole bunch of bastards, which, again, would be wild in a feudal society. It's stupid. And Rhaenyra should not be that stupid. again, and so Viserys is even like, yeah, I'm not above tradition, blah, blah, and even I don't exist above tradition and duty, Rhaenyra. Anyway, so everybody keeps ruining the party for Viserys. Otto is like trying to make everybody chill, but they ignore him, and so Rhaenyra gets on a horse and rides away, and she's followed by Sir Criston Cole. Sir Criston Cole catches up and manages to stop her before she apparently runs into a lake for some very odd reason. And so she's like, well, I don't want to go back, so let's go for a walk in the Kingswood. And so they go for a walk in the Kingswood. And she's still mad. And here, in the Kingswood, Rhaenyra gets destroyed again. And this time it's in a nicer way, but by Criston Cole, where she's like, what do you think? Like, I just want my father to treat me like I'm just worth a fleet or money or some men or influence. And Criston Cole's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that everybody and their mother would trade places with you in a second. Like, oh my God, you poor rich girl, your life is so hard. I'll trade with you right now. Like the highest honor my family has ever gotten is basically dying for yours. Like, you got it pretty good. So you're lacking a little bit of self-awareness here, girl, and maybe like a little bit of, consideration for the rest of the world. So again, it was fun to see her get destroyed, which, I mean, I love watching characters get destroyed, especially when they're being, dicks for no reason. Anyway, so the episode continues, and they keep talking. That's when she gets destroyed, blah blah. And so the king goes off in the hunt. He's trying to check stuff out. For some reason, he's got poop in his hands, which is, again, weird. This is where they tell him about it's a white stag. And Otto's like, this is a sign. Today of old days. The white elk is the sign of kings and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. So Viserys goes back to the party, and he's tired, and he's getting kind of drunk, because people keep annoying him. So I believe Lord Lannister shows up. Oh, yeah. Jason Lannister shows up, and he's giving him a spear, and he's like, I was hoping that this is the... Oh, okay. I hope it might provide the killing stroke against your white heart. Because, it's a very... Honestly, it's kind of a short spear or whatever. And so then he starts saying one of the wildest things I've ever seen in, again, a feudal show. So, Jason Lannister wants to marry Rhaenyra. You assume that Jason Lannister wants to marry Rhaenyra because Rhaenyra is the heir to the throne. So, if Rhaenyra takes the throne, she would be queen and he would be king consort. That would be like the best thing that could ever happen to the Lannister family, right? Right? Okay. Here, he's telling to Viserys that, yeah, I can marry your daughter, and I can give you power, and she could come live with me in Castle Rock, and it won't be like that big of a drop in station for her. She'd still be like on level with you. Not on level with you, but she'd still be pretty good. And Viserys is like, what do you mean? Why would it be a drop in station? And he's like, well, if you're going to name young Aegon your heir, your grace. And so this is one of those things, like, so he says that's what we all thought, that you're going to name Aegon your heir. Listen, I get it. Again, feudal society, firstborn male, that's the heir. That's how things work. I can perfectly understand that. But why is this guy, out of anybody else in the world, advocating for this? He wants to marry the daughter. Why would you want to downgrade her? She's the heir right now. She's going to become the queen. He should be advocating for her to remain queen. It is really bizarre. Again, shitty writing, stupid writing, but well delivered. Because again, Viserys gets pissed, and it's really funny. This guy has to walk away with his tail between his legs. But bizarre. Again, writers don't know how things work, I guess. But whatever. They don't care. And so, they continue, and Viserys is getting pissed. Then Otto Hightower shows up, and he's like, well, there's another solution to this Rhaenyra problem, and what if she marries Aegon? Again, 2-year-old Aegon married off to Rhaenyra, who's 18 years old now. And Viserys is like, fucking weirdo, just leave me alone. Again, this is the dude who was considering marrying a 11-year-old? How old was 12? I don't know. She said that I wouldn't have to bed you until I'm 14. Which, by the way, again, just so that you understand the logic of the show here, the Lyanne Velaryon, I think her name's Lyanne, I don't care, it doesn't matter. The Velaryon girl she said that she wouldn't have to bed the king until she's 14, meaning that she would already be married before 14, and then on her flowering, which is around the age of 14, that's when he would, consummate or whatever. Rhaenyra is 18, so if the other girl is good enough to get married by the time before she even flowers, Rhaenyra being 18 and still not married is crazy. Definitely crazy. Wild, insane for a feudal society. Because again, you come of age basically when you flower. But whatever. Moving on. Viserys is like, just leave me alone. I want to get drunk. And so the king is there by himself getting drunk. And so Lord Strong shows up. And Lord Strong actually has a pretty interesting solution. And basically the solution is like, hey, so how about if my solution is just pretty much the same one that I offered 3 years ago, but a little different. So instead of you marrying the Valyrian girl, how about if your daughter marries the Valyrian boy? Now here is where it would have been really good if in the first episode they would have spent a little bit longer telling you which characters are who and who's a dragon rider and what, and that way they can't just pop out new characters out of nowhere, or if they do, you have a little bit of understanding of who goes what where. But anyway, apparently the Valyrians have an older son, and he's like, well, how about if you marry Rhaenyra her? It's the same thing. They're the most powerful, the richest family in the realm, and yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Here's the thing though. Earlier on in the episode, you already told us that these dudes are losing a war against pirates, basically. They have dragons and they're losing a war against pirates. So why do you want to, they disobeyed you massively. So why do you want to, what do you care about being good with them? And I guess they're not going to be the richest family anymore if they're, losing a lot of money in a war, I'm assuming. Because you lose money. It's expensive. You're losing ships. So they're trying to do two things at once. Like, oh yeah, the Valyrians, they're still big and powerful and important and rich. And also at the same time, they suck. And they're losing. And they're losers. And they're pathetic. So I don't know what they're doing, but it's stupid. It's almost like this was written by two different writers and they weren't talking to each other, but whatever. So he's considering it. And so Rhaenyra in the meantime is out with Sir Kristen Cole, and they hear a noise. So Kristen Cole goes out to check, and it turns out it's a wild boar. And the wild boar attacks. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna press play. So the wild boar just totally levels Kristen Cole, goes out stomping, and then he turns around and he goes. Damn it, got stuck. And he goes after Rhaenyra, and he's right on top of her. Right? Okay. This chick should be dead, right? She should be dead. Wild boars are incredibly strong, incredibly dangerous. They have tusks. They're extremely heavy. They're extremely strong. They're not easy to take down. You should not fight wild boars. Okay? I know that people hunt them with knives. Still, insanity. I'll let me just give you a quick reminder. You guys remember Robert Baratheon? The king, the original Game of Thrones. He died being attacked by wild boar. Now, supposedly he was drunk, but still, wild boars can kill you. And in the books, Robert Baratheon is like a 7-foot tall monster, and he got killed by a wild boar. It's dangerous. Did you see the way that Kristen Cole went flying after he got attacked? By the way, the CGI looked terrible. But did you see the way he went flying? This chick should be dead. Like she's getting mauled by a wild boar, and she's kind of like holding it back with her hands. It's insanity. Like this is I've talked about plot armor. This is madness. Like there's no chance in hell a skinny, tiny little girl could hold back a wild boar. Like I don't think even Ronda Rousey could hold back a boar. It's insanity. I don't think a grown ass man could hold back a boar that way. Especially when they're on top of you, they have gravity. Not only they have all their strength plus gravity, madness. But whatever. Plot armor. Moving on. So Rhaenyra, after Kristen Cole stabs the boar, Rhaenyra, finishes off with her knife, and I guess like, oh yeah, I killed it. Whatever. Not really, but whatever. And then we get to see Viserys again. Now this is where the episode gets really good. Viserys having a conversation with Alicent. And he starts opening up. He's drunk and he starts opening up, and we start to understand the conflict within Viserys. Now, obviously, he feels remorse because of the death of his first wife and all the other stuff. But here we see the Targaryen conflict with prophecy. Now, since we've already seen the original with the series Game of Thrones, we know how it ends. We know that the prophecy is pretty much BS and doesn't matter anyway. But here it's really important. So, the prince that was promised and all that stuff. So, and also you need to understand, the Targaryens take dreams very seriously because the reason why the Targaryens were in Dragonstone when the fall of Valyria happened was because a Targaryen had a dream. So one of the Targaryen ancestors had a dream that Valyria was going to fall, and so he fled with his family to Dragonstone, and that's when the fall of Valyria happened, and that's how they survived. So Targaryens have a tendency to take dreams seriously. Some of them are crazy, some of them are not. It's pretty much whenever a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin. If it lands heads, it'll be a great person. If it lands tails, they'll be insane. Pretty much. I'm saying it wrong, but that's pretty much what they were trying to. I think that's pretty much the gist of it. Anyway, so here we're seeing Viserys has like a conflict because he's feeling really guilty. He's felt really guilty and really bad for the last few years because of the death of his wife, and so he felt that a way to make amends for all that, for his sin, for not choosing his wife, for his punishment and all that stuff, like he feels like he needs to be punished, and he felt that his way to begin to make amends was choosing Rhaenyra as his heir. Because he was so sure, his dream told him that he was going to have a boy, and that he would be a king, and he could see it very clearly. And again, his kid died and cost his wife, and he was like, okay, no, so maybe I should choose the girl. And now reality sets in. Now he has a boy with a different wife, and so he's torn. Should I follow the dream? Should I follow the prophecy? Should I follow the thing that I saw so clearly? Should I follow what my ancestors say, that the dreams, they mean something? Or should I go with reality and with what I think is right and all that stuff? It's an interesting conflict. It's a very interesting conflict. However, it's one thing that I was talking with my kid brother, and he's like, you know what? Like, things aren't really prophetic if it's something you can do. And you're a king. You could have a boy, you can just go bang any random house, and one of them is going to have a boy, and you can name him an heir, and you can just crown him. Like you could. You have the power to. So is it really prophecy to, like, what's the example he gave me? He's like, if I have a dream that tomorrow I'm going to go to Costco, and I'm going to buy milk, like, it's not a prophecy. It's something that I can make happen, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. Anyway, so it's interesting to see this conflict, and Alicent being there, still kind of taking care of him, nudging in the right direction, is interesting to see. Tells the dream, blah blah. Let me just move forward here. Then we continue with the hunt, and Viserys is face to face with this. He's hungover as hell, and he comes face to face with this stag. And honestly, it's one of those things where you're like, man, this is just pathetic. Like the stag, it's not the white stag, it's not the white elk that they wanted, the symbol of the king, which would have been like a symbol from the gods. It's a regular brown one. It's still pretty big. But they already tied him down. It's not even fair. This is not like a fair hunt. This is not a fair fight. And even Viserys is like, I don't feel cool doing this. I'm hungover. This is stupid. And he misses the first time, so he looks like an idiot, but people still have to clap for him. I don't know. This just seems sad. Like, listen, I get it, but it's still, like, because the king has to have the kill or whatever, it's still stupid. Like, Robert was on his horse, chasing down stuff, and he's like, I'm gonna hunt you by myself, because he actually wanted to do it. Viserys, we just returned to the thing that Viserys clearly does not want to be king. Like, he really is not enjoying it. He's straight up not having a good time. Anyway, moving on, he kills it, and then we get to see a scene with Rhaenys and Kristen Cole where they're looking at the camp, and they get approached by the actual white stag. And the white stag actually looks pretty cool, but whatever. And so you can see it here. It's like big, it's strong. So again, I can't say it's plot armor per se, but it's one of those things like, okay, is it fate? Is it destiny? They're trying to push this kind of really hard, but whatever, doesn't matter. So Rhaenyra goes back to the camp, dragging the boar that she killed and still covered in blood, and everybody's looking at her like, damn, look at that girl, she killed the boar, she's covered in blood. And everybody else is like, Christian Cole, you're fired. Why is the princess covered in blood? You were supposed to protect her. Why didn't she come back at night? Where the hell were you? Oh wait, nobody did that. Nobody cared. It's like, oh yeah, the princess stayed out all night with a king's guard. Like, that's normal. And she came back covered in blood. Again, totes normal behavior. You wouldn't have gotten your head chopped off in medieval times for that, for sure. Like spending the night with the king's daughter. Never would have happened. Anyway, moving on. So they go back to King's Landing, and here we have a scene with Alicent where Otto basically is like, hey, you need to push Viserys to pick Aegon to be his heir. And she's like, well, I don't want to raise a son that tries to steal Rhaenyra's like rightful place, like her inheritance, her birthright or whatever. And Otto's like, do it. Pretty much. And so it's an interesting conversation there, because again, Alicent is probably the best character on the show. She's straight up, I think she's the best female character in Game of Thrones in general, in the entire franchise that we've seen TV wise. I'm not getting into a book situation, but because again, we've never seen her in the book, but at least on the TV show, she's probably the best character so far, because now we clearly see she knows what she has to do. Like, her duty is clear, and her duty is to make her family rise, right? She's a daughter of a second-born son. Like, she should have nothing in life. So she needs to make something for herself, for her family. She managed to get a crown. Now she needs to get a crown for her kid, and it's duty. It's all for her family, and for herself, I guess, and for her kid. But she's not comfortable with it because she knows what she's doing is, let's say, not duplicitous, but at least sneaky, not very nice, at least, not very friendly, at least, not very friend-like behavior, but she's a realist. And so she's in that conflict with herself, but it's an interesting conflict, at least. So moving on, she drops some pretty interesting lines, and basically what Alicent tells Viserys, again, we get to see the conflict with Viserys, which is pretty good. Viserys is very well written, and his performance has been really good from the actor, but he's basically like, no matter what I do, somebody's mad at me. I don't know what to do. Like, nobody's ever happy. I just want to be loved. I just want to stay here and play with my miniatures with my hot wife. I don't understand. Why is everybody always mad at me? And so we get to get that little piece of insight, which is fun, and it's good character. It's interesting for character development. And Alicent is like, well, listen, if you want to convince Rhaenyra to do something, you have to make her think that it's her own idea, and they're talking about getting her married or whatnot. And then they're talking about Daemon and Corlys and blah blah blah. And so Rhaenyra is like, Alicent's like, well, what's more important for the realm, that the crab feeder lives or doesn't? Because they asked him for help. Well, the brother of Corlys Velaryon asked for help, and so Alicent's like, are you gonna send help? And he's like, I don't know, because I mean, Daemon and Corlys are, they went there against my will. This is their war, blah blah blah. And Alicent's like, you gotta help your brother. I don't want to help my brother. Screw that. He'd rather die. He's like, all right, is it better for the kingdom if the crab feeder if the menace in the stepstones is allowed to survive? And so Viserys is like, fine, I'll help my brother. God damn it, you're so annoying. Anyway, and so he sends out his men, and he sails to the stepstones, and then he starts talking to, that he has a heart-to-heart with Rhaenyra about her getting married, and basically like, you know what, pick whoever you want. Just, I want you to know, no matter what, just because I have an heir, because you understand why Rhaenyra feels uncomfortable. That's because Rhaenyra has always been, afraid, because she knows that she's never been the first choice. She's like, all right, you got stuck with me, all right? You've never picked me, you're kind of stuck with me. I'm your second choice, and you're going to dump me the first chance you get. Again, feudal society, but whatever. You only want to sell me like off as a piece of cattle. Again, feudal society, that's kind of how that works. If you're worth something, they're going to sell you for something, but whatever. And the king's like, no, I'm choosing you. I'm sticking with you. Blah blah. Now I would have handled this differently, but whatever. Viserys is he's a different type of dad, and so he's like, all right, fine. You get to pick. You have to get married, but you need to. You get to pick, which is. And Rhaenyra's like, really? Okay, cool. So now this is interesting because Rhaenyra started saying, I don't want to get married, but she got suckered into at least being like, oh, I get to pick who I'm gonna marry. So haha. When Viserys there, and now I guess he has to give her the best option, or we're gonna get a whole another episode of seeing who the hell she picks or whatnot. Anyway, so that whole thing happens, and then we probably move on to, where is it? Come on. All right, and now we move on to the Battle of the Stepstones, which is beyond stupid. Beyond stupid. I cannot stress this enough. This is beyond stupid. This is the dumbest story, or the dumbest resolution for any storyline Game of Thrones ever had. And they've had a storyline where they literally blow up 20 of their storylines. It's so stupid. But anyway, let's break it down. So apparently the Valerians and Daemon Targaryen are losing in spite of them having dragons. Why are they losing? I don't know. Because the dude, he runs into a cave, and we can't go into the cave because it's scary. I don't know. It's honestly, I don't understand. Now there have been situations where there have been situations where the Targaryens have lost wars because the dragons can't fight people in caves. That's understandable. And it happened in Dorne. And not only can't they can't, fight people in caves because, they hide. The sun is also pretty deadly. So it's hard to find food, hard to find water, and so that ultimately ends up being the massive dragon repellent. Here, they're in the coast. They can very easily resupply. That supply should not be an issue here, or the sun, because the dragon can just go in the water. But whatever. Dumbest storyline ever, because you see this right here. You see that? Those are the stepstones. You know what the stepstones are? A whole bunch of islands. Now, this island has a whole bunch of caves, apparently. But if your enemy is cornered, if you know where he is, you don't have to go in there. You just have to make sure he doesn't get out. You can just, make a blockade around the little caves, the little island. I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to go underwater? Or there's going to be if the caves go deep enough that they actually go through underwater, then you're screwed. But if you look here, the island kind of ends here, and I'm assuming it's the same for the other side. It's not that big of an island, but whatever. You just blockade them there and wait for them to starve and die, or to come out and fight, or whatever. And, sporadically, you just go around with your dragon. Oh, they're building trebuchets? Just go with the dragon, you burn it. Oh, they got archers. You just go with the dragon and you burn them. Oh, they're running, so you just go with the dragon and burn. Anything that they try to do, just go with the dragon and burn them. Like, it's super easy. And you just keep the other ships around, and if anybody else comes close, you just go with the dragon and you burn them. It's super easy. Like, there's no way. Like, you have to be a next level kind of stupid to lose a naval battle if you have a dragon. Because again, ships are made out of wood. Wood is very easy to set on fire. Sails, very easy to set on fire. And you have a dragon, which has dragon fire, which is, well, again, they've nerfed dragon fire here, which is really stupid. But supposedly dragon fire can melt you and your armor like that. So whatever. Like, it's really stupid because sometimes they show dragon fire like it's like a normal flamethrower, like nothing, like, and then sometimes they show like boom. Like, you guys remember when the ice dragon knocked down the wall? Like it actually had like this explosive powers. Like because it gets so hot that anyway, stupid. So the point is, this is the dumbest storyline because they're trying to make it like dudes with dragons, not dragons are losing against a bunch of pirates. Now, supposedly, this is the largest navy in Westeros, the largest fleet, and they have dragons, and they're losing the fucking pirates. who apparently don't even have ships. They're in a little island that for some reason they don't just blockade out of range of their trebuchets, or, you know, they just burn the fucking trebuchets. I don't understand it. It's so stupid. Like, up to this point, the episode was okay. I have complaints here and there, blah, blah. But this, I was like, this is insanity. It makes no sense. How stupid can you be strategy-wise? Now, this would have been me. The storyline, like, if you want to make it look like the war is taking longer than when it should have, well, what you can do here is try to, let's say, kind of pin the characters against each other. So, for example, you don't make them, again, it's about not making characters look like idiots. Because right now, these dudes look like idiots. Because they couldn't even take down pirates. And, again, with dragons. So, what you could do here is have Daemon Targaryen be like, hey, you find a ship, I burn it. I just need you to tell me what I do, where to go, and burn it. This is your failure. So, set it up like they haven't caught the crab dude because, I don't know, he hides in caves or he's very sneaky or whatnot, and they're still raiding. Now, instead of just taking ships, they're raiding their ports and stuff. So they're like, it's costing us more money. We've been here. We haven't even finished this war. How is it that we haven't caught them, blah, blah, blah. So there's infighting between them, like we kind of saw, but for reasons where they're not stupid. And Daemon being like, I haven't lost a single fight. I said where to go. You just go with my dragon and burn it. You've also burned you burned our ships. You burned ships from the free cities. You're about to start a war with them. I don't care. I'm killing pirates and stuff like that. So conflicts are escalating with the free cities because, again, dragon sees ship. Daemon is like, I'll just burn it in case it's a pirate, whatever. I'm causing trouble because I'm a, naughty devil. But anyway, no, they went with the dumbest storyline where they're losers. They're losers. Why do they have to keep making characters losers that are supposed to be cool? I don't get it. I don't understand it, but it's stupid. But anyway, let's continue. So we get to see again this fight. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Driftmark is an island that's right next to Dragonstone. So that's, the houses are pretty close together, but whatever. And so they're talking about this plan, and for some reason their plan is we should send a man there. I don't know why. I don't know why their plan would be we're gonna send like a guy there, and this basically to his death. And this is going to give us an opening how, because we're gonna lure them out of the caves. Sending one man. It's weird. Okay. I mean, listen, they needed a plan. Okay, and it's a plan. Okay, let's just say it's a plan. It might be the dumbest plan I've ever heard in history, but whatever, it's a plan. And so Daemon shows up, and by the way, after the beginning, he doesn't say anything. So when the arrow hit him, maybe he lost his ability to talk or something, because he doesn't say anything. So he's over there, he's looking at the plans, and so the Targaryen guard who got the note from Viserys shows up, and he's like, hey, I got this note from the king. Daemon reads it, and he's like, F you and your mother, dude. And he starts beating up the Targaryen guard. Which, again, this does not make Daemon look cool. It makes him look pathetic. Because he's beating up a dude who really can't kind of defend himself. What are you going to do? What would you do if a prince hits you? Like, even if, like, you can block it, sure. But if you punch him back, you're dead. You're dead because you punched the prince. Because this is a feudal society, and look, hell yeah. But and they'll have a reason to, because you hit a prince, you punched them, but whatever. The point is, it makes him look pathetic, hitting somebody who's beneath him, in at least in rankings and stuff, who knows that he can't really defend himself against him. It's stupid, and so then Daemon, really pissed off, leaving his helm back there, he gets a boat and he decides, you know what, I'm gonna go off by myself. By the way, nobody tells him about the plan. About sending, like one person out there. It's possible that he could have seen the table and might have inferred everything, but I didn't see it. Anyway, so he goes over there and he's like, he walks up by himself. He grabs a white flag, stands up on a hill, starts waving his little white flag, right? Oops. And so as he's waving it, and then he puts up his Valyrian steel sword. Now, I need you to understand. It's a Valyrian steel sword. This is one of the most valuable items in the world, and he's just like, I'm giving this to you. Now, if you're the crab feeder, you gotta be like, what the hell is that guy doing? Like, this is clearly a trap, right? I mean, why would he come here by himself and hand over his blade? Like, this guy could have just left, right? He could have just left. I mean, he does have a drink. He could just be like, you know what, deuces, I don't care about this anymore. I'm just going home. What's going on here? I don't get it. Is he trying to negotiate? What is he trying to negotiate for? We're just gonna feed him to the crabs. This is a trap, right? Like, trap. Anyway, so he sees that, and then they send out a bunch of archers, and here is where I'm telling you about the kill zone. So let me see if I can find a better picture. Okay, so kill zone. As you can see, there might be a better shot earlier on, because this is kind of important, and it's really bugging me. Okay, I guess this is good enough. So here you can see there's this beach, right? And up here, there's another level. On that higher level, a bunch of archers show up. Effectively meaning that all of this, every single thing on this beach here is a kill zone. Because what does Obi-Wan say about the high ground? Imagine if you have a long range weapon, like a bow and arrow. And so they have a bow and they have a bunch of archers up here where they can get them easily, because you know when you're shooting from higher up you have more range and they can't hit you. So again, this is effectively a giant kill zone. Now it wouldn't actually be a problem if you just burn them with a bunch of dragons and stuff, but right now it's a massive problem. We'll get back to that in a minute. So again, Damon's trying to lure out the crab feeder. This dude comes out, and man, I want to see if they show the archers, because this is kind of like it's a pet peeve of mine that they do in TV shows and movies. They even did it in Lord of the Rings, but let's see if they show it. I don't know. Damn it! No, I missed it. Anyway, so a bunch of archers come out, and their commander's like basically like aim, draw, and they do this pullback thing. Like they did in Lord of the Rings. That's not how that works. I mean, it may look cool or whatever, but having a bow stretched out like that, not a good idea if you're not planning on shooting. Because, in fact, it's not a good idea in general, because those things are really heavy. Like, even if it's a 50-pound bow, like actually it has to be more than a 50-pound bow, because those things are armor piercing. And the reason why I know that they're armor piercing is because they pierced Damon's armor earlier on this episode. So it has to be at least an 80-pound bow. That means you need 80 pounds of strength to pull that thing back. So imagine you're pulling an 80 pound, you need 80 pounds of strength to pull that thing, and then your commander's just like, hold that there. You're like, are you kidding me? They first off, no, because me holding it here is exhausting, and that's the only shot I'm gonna do. Like, if you have me here for a minute, I'm not gonna be able to pull it back the next time. Like, are you crazy? This is dumb. This is stupid. This is exhausting. This is a bad idea. You're a terrible commander. Anyway, so just pointing that out. And they did in Lord of the Rings too, and I don't get why. You know, the old guy who just lets go and like, ugh, and everybody's like mad at him, like, stop, why are you shooting? And it's like, because they're orcs and I want to kill them. Are we here to kill them? Like, I don't get it. But yeah, that's not the old dude's fault. It was Aragorn's fault for keeping him, you know, just like, ugh, pulling that thing back, whatever. So basically, Damon is like, haha, I tricked you, and he starts fighting everybody, and he starts running around the beach, and he's killing dudes, and he's dodging arrows, and he's a total badass. And I need you to remember, not only is he a good warrior, he's basically fighting with a lightsaber, right? And so because again, Valyrian steel blade, one of the most valuable items in Westeros, and he's fighting with it. Then, this is stupid, but he gets hit by 2 arrows. Let me see, I think it'll be here. So we saw that the archers were to the top of his left. I'm sorry, in front of him, to the left, up. That's where the archers were. And we finally know why villains come one-on-one in fights against heroes. So instead of, you know, just ambushing the dude and just basically somebody tackling him, you know, like 3 dudes tackling him at once and, you know, stopping him, there's one to be like, no, okay, wait. They killed 2. All right, 2 more. He's killed 3 this time. All right, there are 3. Go. 1? Okay, just 1. Go. It's almost like they want to die. And I don't know why they don't just rush him, but whatever. So we get to see that he gets hit with an arrow. And again, I want you to I want you to see it. Come on. Don't get stuck. Stupid video. Hate you. Come on. Well, I got stuck. I can't show you. Anyway, so he gets shot with an arrow on his right shoulder. So they're shooting him from his left, and he gets shot on the right side of his body. It's really weird. Because, again, the hills in the kill zone and all that stuff, they were on the top left, but whatever. Again, they don't care. Continuity, anything like that, stupid, doesn't matter. So Damon starts to get surrounded by everybody, and he's like, well, he's dead, right? He's being surrounded by a whole bunch of people. Then all of a sudden, boom, fire. And also the Valerian army show up, and so everybody starts fighting. And so here we learn that, oh my god, there's actually another Dragon Rider here. It would have been nice if it would explain that. You know, if it would have been nice if we would have known that there's actually another Dragon Rider here. It's almost like you didn't tell us on purpose because you wanted to surprise us, but it's actually more confusing. Anyway, it turns out that the Valerian son, the dude whose name I don't remember, but the one that they suggested that, hey, maybe he could marry Rhaenyra, turns out that guy is a Dragon Rider. And if I remember correctly, his dragon's name is Sea Smoke. Anyway, so we got this fight between the Valerian forces and the crab feeders men. I don't remember their name. And so in the meantime, after getting shot in the leg with an arrow, Daemon decides it doesn't hurt anymore. He runs into the caves after the crab feeder, and he kills the crab feeder off screen, meaning we don't see the fight. He just goes in and kills him. So the big bad that they've been building up for 3 episodes just died off screen. Yeah. Fitting end for this big scary enemy. Again, they've been building up. I don't even think the dude had a line in the entire show. I don't even remember. Pretty sure he didn't. But yeah, killed off screen. And then he starts dragging half of his body out there. You know, why don't you just take the head? Like, he could have just taken the head. Even the mask. But, alright. And so then, you know, the episode ends with, you know, Daemon Targaryen covered in blood being like, yep, anybody got a problem with this? I'm a badass. So, that was terrible. Like, that was disgustingly bad. Again, stupid storyline. Dumb. From beginning to end. It's one of those things where you're like, wait, so they could have won this at any point in the last 3 years, and they just chose not to do it? Just because Viserys said he was going to go, Daemon's like, no, my big brother's not going to help me. I'm going to go do it myself. Really? Really? That's how this is going to work? You had dragons against pirates. And I can understand pirates holding out for 3 years and making it, you know, a very expensive war where you're losing a lot of money and you're still losing ships because they can still keep getting other pirates and stuff like that. I could see that. But the dude was holding out in a cave. You could have just gone to the cave. You could just walk into I don't know why. Listen, I don't know why they couldn't just, you know, break down the entrances to the cave, you know, just destroy them, or put the dragon's face like right in the hole and just throw a bunch of fire in there. I don't know, melt the caves down, something. I don't know. But apparently they couldn't. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And yeah, sure, Daemon running there by himself. Okay, cool. Kind of looks like a badass. But it wasn't clear that the dude knew that he was going to get the assistance, you know? He didn't know that the dragon was going to come out and save him, or the Balerian forces were coming after him. It looked like he kind of just went there to die. It was really weird. So, again, the weakest part of this show has been the way that they've handled the Rogue Prince, because they could have handled the Rogue Prince in a way that he would have been cool. Here, they just keep kind of making him pathetic. Sure, he did something. I'll give it to you. He did something. Surrounded by a whole lot of stupid. So, in the end, stupid is, stupid does, I guess. But that's where the episode ends, and so I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'd say it's. Yeah, it was probably better. It was probably better than the first episode, because my big issue with this one happened at the end. The end is just bad. Like that. I take medieval fighting very seriously, and logic and reason, but I guess not every episode can be perfect. Anyway, that's it for today. As always, comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Super Dario World or at DarioSDW. As always, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again next time.